Okay, okay. All right, so welcome to another dope, cool episode of TechCodePractice. All right, it's not an episode, of course, it's a training. Now, first off, I want to thank you guys for handling the assignment. I got a lot of assignments in. Some people did not submit theirs. Ifeanyi, I missed yours. Naomi, I missed yours. And Olasumbo Fadeke, I missed yours. So, but let's look into some of them. I also those who submitted their assignments. I responded to your I kind of how would I put it? I replied to your results and I gave a very brief uh, feedback. Now, what I would like to do is I would like to open up some of the assignments and walk it through with you guys. Um, um, you guys should who the assignments that I will be using. You guys shouldn't feel embarrassed about what you did, or say, oh, or be feel ashamed that we're looking at your assignment. That's not how it works. Um, One of the ways to learn programming is to be able to be open to making mistakes and to be able to allow other people to look at your code and try to correct some problems there, and for others to learn from what you have done. All right. So we'll be doing that. Um, so I'm gonna start with just a few. We're gonna try to run this. Today's gonna be actually a very fun day because we're also gonna do a lot of hands-on um, based on what we have done. But I would say generally I was very, very happy and impressed because it showed that you guys have actually been learning something, and I see that you guys are also pretty excited about practicing some stuff. So let's look at some of the exercises. So let's see, we have three folders here. Who would I pick first? Let's go with OB. OB, you're gonna be the first lab rat. So I'm gonna show you guys another way to run your Java programs. You can, of course, you can use IntelliJ, it's fine. But I'll show you how to run your program sometimes from the command prompt. So I'm just gonna type command here. Uh, for typing command, you see the prompt is going to come open up, and you see my directory is exactly the same directory as where this OB's file is. So you see it goes all the way, and you see assignment, and then OB is right here. Let me see if I can zoom this in a bit. Good. So the way to run Java code, if you're not using IntelliJ, is to type Java and the name of the class that you are trying to build. So in this case, it's main.java. So I'm just gonna say main. It has to be the same main.java. Now, what Java will do is Java will go in there and look for the door. Remember, the door is the main method. So let's run it and see what happens. So as you can see, we got a total printout of what's one of the assignments. So we're gonna go to that assignment actually. That's this one, and let's kind of compare. So I see this part of it is here. I see 27 mm. It goes all the way down. Really interesting. Quite good. And let's look at the code behind it. Let's see if there were things we could learn from when we look at the code. So I'm gonna use a different editor for now, just to give you guys a little bit of variety. So what Obi did here is, you see, he placed most of the stuff in strings. Um, Also, I see we have an int here of 5. This is seating capacity. We have a cylinder of 4. He made that an int. We have the BHP liter is a double, and the rest of them are ints. And then he proceeded to print it out here. One of the things I liked though about this code is Obi used something like this. So it's more like, I think he's trying to make his code look pretty and presentable. So he's trying to create space between the output. So if you look at the example here, I think he's trying to create this green space so that you're like, okay, this is a different section, this is another different section, this is another different section, this is another different section. And the way he did that was to put this system.out.print uh, twice to create an empty space, which was quite nice. So this is also something you can learn. Like, okay, if I want to create a space in terms of line space, just use an empty system.print line, and it will create the space you see here. So you see the space is here, so the space is here. the spaces here just to make improve readability. So I can understand why he did that, and I think that's really nice. Um, so what I would like to ask you guys, what do you guys think could be done differently in these variables that we have here? Are there things you think Obi should have done differently in terms of maybe data type choice or the way he chose to prepare his variables? Even as far as naming, is there anything feedback you guys have on it? So I'm gonna zoom it in. I'm gonna start with let me see. So maybe I'm gonna start with if you look at this, do you have any feedback for him?
Yeah, a
Oh, a
lot.
lot. All right, shoot.
Like the length, width, and height. It should have been different variables because you might want to make calculations with it.
Very good. I like that. I like that. So I'll say
And the data type.
just a minute. Let me just put that. Uh, it's it would be better to split the number in this variable and give a different data type. Good. What else?
And I think it's wise. Like I don't know, like the units of measurement. It shouldn't be with the same. It shouldn't be in the name of the, like it shouldn't be as value as
What
part
is
of the
it?
variable.
Where's the unit of measurement? Which one? What
Like
line? Can you tell me the line?
the
MM.
mm.
Okay, so it shouldn't be part of the. Okay, okay, I get it. I get it. All right. Let's try someone else. Thank you for that feedback. We're gonna see what if I means in a minute. Constance, you have a feedback for him.
I think it was pretty neat, but I guess maybe like not put everything in a string because strings take some space, like
So
you said
what could
last week,
he? What
and
should
maybe
he
put
not have put
some,
in a string?
maybe like wheelbase or most of the ones with
Okay, so
numbers, or the int could have been like a char as well. But I don't know, it
okay,
looks
but
pretty
you
cool.
mean he should have made this an int like wheelbase?
Yeah, yeah, most of them could have.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
but it's still
wheelbase, truck,
but
ones
int takes
where I
this
think.
has so what would he have? That wouldn't work if he makes this an int.
Maybe
This
like
wouldn't
just
work because this is a string. Is not a number.
fair enough, but he could have put that like somewhere else. I don't know.
Okay.
It
Okay.
looks
So
pretty good still.
you said leave it the way it is. Is that what you're choosing? Because you have to stick by your feedback. Leave it the way it is, or you could have done something.
Mm, I would say, yeah, most of them
Yeah,
could
but I
have
just
been an
explained
int,
to you if I made this an int, it will give an error. So what's your
and then he could put the just like in the
good, good, good.
outputs instead, like separately. But that would have taken more
No, no,
time,
no.
to be
It's not
fair.
about taking more time. You have to write good code. So
Okay, yeah, I guess yeah, you could put it in the int because it does int have takes less space in the code than strings, like you explained last week.
okay.
So yeah, int. That's my
All right.
final
We'll get
answer.
back to that. Thank you for that. Let's go to Chinonso. Chinonso, feedback.
Um, like most of them said, um, personally, I prefer to put it in an int, most of the variables. Then there's one int I'm saying, seed the seed capacity. I think that's probably a char.
So should I make this a char? And why? Why should it be a char?
And because it's a one character letter.
Listen to what you said because it's what? Listen to yourself again. Say it again.
Because it's one
You said something
character
before. It's because it's one character. What?
um, um,
No, 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 no. What you said before?
number
Aha,
letter.
letter. But is this a letter?
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
no, it's
So
not.
your first instinct was correct. If it was a letter, then it could have been a char. But this is not a letter. You only use char for letters, or is that use it for letters or you use it for symbols like this? Take for example, you had something like this, then you can make it a char. Anything that is not a number is better to make it a char, and it's just one. Okay. So yeah, character. All right, let's go to the next person. Naomi, do you have feedback for Obi? Okay.
No, I don't.
Um, and then we move to Miss Fadeke. Do you have any feedback for Obi?
Yeah, I guess same as everyone said. For example, this
Okay.
line 19, I would have put it to
Uh-huh.
be
Good one.
bite because I know the seats in a car will probably not be more
That's
than
a good
100
one.
and something. So
All right.
bite would be good for it. Um, the the line, what's that now? Line 26 or oh no, line
Mm-hmm.
18. That would have been float
Okay, but there's an
because
M
it's a
here. What are
decimal
you gonna do
number.
about that?
Yeah, I wouldn't put the M when
Okay,
printing
so it
out.
should have been
I'll
something
insert the
like
M.
this. Float, and then
Float
always have to come with an F at the end.
with yeah with an F without the
Oh yeah, without the
colon.
quote. Oh, that's a good one. Very good, very good.
Without the colon.
All right. All right, that's
Nayeli.
good. That's good.
Sorry.
That's good. Thank you guys for this feedback. You see, everybody's giving feedbacks. I hope you guys are listening to each other. Very nice, very nice. One more feedback I would give to Obi is please make your variable name start with a small letter. We're gonna talk about it later though, because I know I haven't told you guys stuff about that. But it is convention. When I mean convention, it is the way Java programmers program. When you're giving your variables a name, you make it a small letter. It starts like wheel. Since if it's a two-letter word like wheel base, then you can make the B capital, so it's readable. Wheel base. Like this one is rack front rear, so you can make it rack front rear. So this is what you call a camel case notation. So you can also Google that. I'm giving you guys cool keywords to get used to. They call it camel case. I'll just make it like this: camel case variable naming naming convention. And you see, if you look at it, what they're basically saying is you name your stuff like this. Where is it again? Camel case. Look for it. Camel. All right, camel case. So you see the camel case convention always start, the first word starts with a small letter and then big like that. Uh, Let me see if I also get a better site where we can see some other ones. Naming convention, camel case. So you see first name. You see first name. Um, yeah, this is also some form of camel naming convention, but it's not a camel case. So this is camel case. There's another case they call Pascal case. So you were doing Pascal case, Obi. So Pascal case means all the letters are big. So the point is, there's nothing wrong with the name way you named your stuff, but Java programmers are used to camel case. So, like I told you guys are joining the cult now. I'm sorry, you're joining the Java cult. So Java cultists like us now are gonna be doing things like the Java gurus. So that's just it. I'm just playing around, but I'm still serious at the same time. So the point is when you do it like this, and when you go to work in a firm and you name your variables like this, your colleagues will know like, ah, this person has been programming Java for a while. But if you write your variable like this, we'll be suspecting, maybe this guy is a C sharp programmer. Maybe he's not really a Java programmer. So that's why, yeah, I'll just suggest that you guys do it like this because it's something Java programmers are used to. That's how we know ourselves in a way. But it doesn't really matter. It's acceptable, but do it this way. It's much more preferable. So good. Now I'm gonna take this and we're gonna solve this together real quick. I'm gonna take all of your feedbacks and we're gonna use it to crunch this down. So let's go back to our code. I'm going to create. I'm gonna create a package and put it in there so I can separate it from the others. I'm gonna say assignments. I'm gonna come in here and I think will be named the file. I'm gonna create a new class, a new Java class. I'm gonna name it main. I think that's what he named it. Main, capital letter. And I'm just gonna go ahead and copy his code. Control A, Control C, and I'm just gonna paste it here. So I see everything looks good. I have an error somewhere. What is this about? Wheelbase. I think I messed around with his wheelbase. Yeah, so I messed around with this, so that's why. So I'm just gonna change it to a small letter. That's also a good one to see that Java is case sensitive. I think I made it wheelbase using Pascal case. This one as well. I said I did something like track. What was that? Track front rear or something? Yeah, rack front rear. Yeah. So that's it. We're gonna run it one more time. Make sure it still runs the way he programmed it. Yes, so as you can see, everything is working exactly how Obi wants it. So using the small feedbacks we talked about, what Ify was saying and public constants. So in this situation of this first length, width, and height, we can see that this contains numbers, and a lot of times when we are talking about length, width, and height, people might want to make calculations with this in the future. So the best way you could have done this was you say you use the you first of all you think, okay, what's the highest what data type should we use for this. Now if you remember our training, we have different data types that takes up different amount of space um, of sizes. So you see byte can only take up to 127, short can take 3762. So I think this will be a very good candidate for short. So because short goes all the way to 3,000, as you can see. I mean, it goes all the way to 32,000. So this is really a very good candidate for short. So you can say short. So we start with the first one because I'm sure this is the first one is the length. So you can say the length. So you see, I'm also using Pascal case. So I'm also using camel case. Then we put just the number there. Then we go to the next one, which will be short width, and which is the second one, and then the third one is probably the height, so we can use height for it. Height, oh sorry, short, and then we say height is equal to this. Got it? So now you probably could use all of this then in your printout. So we could go all the way to where you printed it out. So I think you printed it out here. Now you can take this stuff you did here, can take it all the way down here now, and instead of putting this here, then we can now say length plus, then we go to the next one, put double quotes and say plus and plus, and then we put the height in the middle. I think that was, no, I think it was width, and then you come down here and you close the quote again, plus plus, and you say height. That's the variable names. So you see when we run it now, let's see what happens. So you see it gives you the same results. So let's go all the way up. So you see it gives you the same results. But the good thing now is in the future, you can make calculations with these numbers because these numbers are saved in a number data type, which is short, in a data type that knows and handles number. Because in the future, someone could say, "Oh, what if you make the car? What if you add 5 what was this, probably 70 millimeters, add 5 millimeters to the actual length. So all you just have to do is, okay, since the owner wants me to add 5 millimeters, you could do something like this. We could just come out here. Let me just put this in brackets, and we say we want to add, because we want to add 5 to the length. So you see, now we could do an arithmetic uh, equation. So if I run it now, you see that instead of it being instead of it being 1445, because if I added 5 to it now, it's 4550, because of we chose a data type that we can do arithmetic with. But if we left it as string, we could not do calculations with that, you see. So that's the beauty of using the right data type. Let's also see the other feedback that was given. So we see this one, the cylinder type was 4. So that's four. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Like I said, most programmers just use int a lot, but I wanted you guys to try to pick the right data type. In this case, bytes would have made more sense because a cylinder doesn't go too high, and you see bytes up to 100, 127. So you could have made this a byte. So now I'll iterate again. When you're writing program, most of the time you'll be using int. When you're reading other people's program, most of the time you're going to see int. But if you want to write programs that you feel like, okay, I want to make sure that the computer does not use too much memory, then using the proper data type really helps. Because imagine now, instead of the computer taking allocation of space of over 2 billion, it's only going to take, which costs 4 bytes. Now it's only going to use 1 byte, which just which is that. So you are actually saving the computer memory and all that. But that's just for information sakes. But it doesn't mean when you look at people's code, you'll be like, oh, don't be surprised if people are not doing that. But it's good you know how to do that. And of course, if you program like this, you build more efficient code. Then of course, this one we can make floats according to Sumbo's feedback, and we just put an F at the end. So that would be float, and the reason for that is also because the data we're expecting, like this one, is more befitting for this because you see double takes 8 bytes and float takes 4 bytes, and float takes up to 7 decimals. So this will never be more than, this is only 2 decimals here, and float takes up to 7. So that would be a good one. So maybe one more feedback I would probably give OB, which we can take from another of our um, candidates. So let me look for someone else who probably did that. So I'm gonna go to let me see if it's which of them. I think it was no, not Nonso, but I think Constance. Let's see what Constance did here. Yeah. So this was also an interesting stuff. So let's try Constance's version and see that. As also another thing I would that would be a nice feedback for OB, which would be the presentation, how you present it. So if you see OB, if I'm reading your outputs, take for example, you send this to me now. I don't know what this is. I'm like, okay, what is this? I don't know what this is. What I don't know. I'm just seeing a bunch of lines, a bunch of numbers. I don't know. I don't know anything about. I'm probably gonna call you up like Obi. What am I going to do with this? But what if you did it this way? So let's import this. See, Constance used an array here. Import class, and we'll run it. So I'm just gonna raise this up again. So this is different now. So you see, Constance is saying this is length, width, and height. Wheel is equal to this. Track is equal to this, which actually mimics what's the actual assignment. So presentation matters. You're trying to pass an information, so it's good you say, okay, this number is the wheelbase, this is the track, this is the kill, and that's the same thing you saw on the assignment. Because imagine they just gave the person just sent this thing and only gave this number. Whoever is reading will not understand what it is. So it's good to put the description of what they are on the right side. And constants, of course, You can also learn from OB by leaving spaces between that. So I can see you did a good job by trying to separate it using engine. For example, you have an engine here. You want to have engine, but if you put a system dot out the print ln empty one, you would have created a space here, and it would have been way more readable. So that's also good feedback for you. And lastly, your variable names is better to use camel cases. I say use capitals. Oh, sorry, that's not your variable name. Let me see your variable name. No, this is good. Sorry, this is good. What I meant to say was, oh no, your variable names are wonderful. Yeah, you used, yeah, like wheelbase would have been capital. The base would have been capital. So I do see you try to use camel case, which is good. I see that you're doing that. Very nice. So you did use camel cases, but of course your choice of what do you call it? Your choice of data type could also be having better. You see, you would have splitted this all out so that because they could be used for calculation. You see, maximum power. You could have split them out. But in all, I think you guys did a very good job. Thank you guys so much. I'm really excited. I hope you guys are excited because look at you guys. You guys are messing with variables and you guys are understanding what they do. Are there any questions before we move to the second one? All right, no questions. All right, so let's see. So for the next one, I am going to open up another. I'm gonna open up another. No, let me just open that up first. Let's pick. Let me see. I think Chinonso has something for us on that. I think it should be this one. Let's see what Chinonso did on this front. Yeah, so this is Chinonso's version. So yeah, let me see. First of all, let's run it. Let's run it. So I'm gonna use my old method. So I'm gonna say command. I'm gonna type enter. It's gonna open up a command prompt for me at this location. I'm just gonna say Java super, which is the name of the Java class, superhero.java, and I'm gonna run it. And voila, it's asking me enter your name. I'm like, wonderful, Darlington is my name. Enter your age. I'm gonna say I'm 17, and it says you are underage, no access. Awesome. That's exactly what we wanted. So I'm gonna try again. I'm gonna say my name is Nayeli. What's your age? I'm 20, and it says welcome Nayeli. You may proceed. So that's really good. It's doing exactly what we wanted. And this was where we were practicing our if statements. The if block is a very, very powerful block. You're going to be using it very often in your programming career. Some of you already have. But as you can see, what she also did here was she created a variable. She created actually two variables. The first variable was a string, and she used this variable to store what the user typed in as first name, and then she has another variable called user age, and she used this variable to store what came in as the user age. But there's also something interesting she did here. So because you see this line is similar to this line. So this is called read line because she's using a buffer reader. We're going to talk about that later. But this actually is what gets the input from the user. But this line is different from this line because this one she just puts the br.read line, she just assigned it to username. But for the age, she used this integer dot pass int. Why? Why did you do that, children? So please can you explain what is going on here? Why was that necessary? Could we have taken it off? Is there a reason you did that?
I think I
And
did
if you
that
hadn't done
because
that, what would
the
happen?
age was going to be an integer.
Okay. So that's absolutely correct what Chinonso said.
I don't
The
think I
point is
tried doing it without
everything
it.
that comes from the user inputs is always a string. Please remember that. Everything you type here, or if everything you type that is collecting inputs, like you type, I'm gonna run it again. No, not this one. That's the other one. Yeah. So if I run this again, even though I'm typing a number, even though I'm typing, no, this one was my name, so this is good. Even if I'm typing a number 89999, you get it? This number is going to come in as a string. because that's how the computer understands. The computer is like, listen, anything you're typing to me is a string. I'm not gonna give myself headache to start figuring out if it's a string or integer. It's a string, so that's what it's gonna do. So this br.read line, it picked up that 8999, but it just said it's a string. Then you, as the programmer, knowing that everything you give the computer will say it's a string. You are the one that is now going to convert it to the right data type. So that's what this is for. So you pick up what the user inputs, and then you converted it to an int because you want to store it as an integer data type. And the reason you want to do that as well is because you're going to do a comparison with it, because you cannot do comparisons with strings. So that's why this line worked out perfectly well. So that's very good. I think it's very good. Does anyone have a feedback for this? So Chinos, so shoot. Chinos has a question. I can hear you, Chinos.
Okay, I
So
was
what?
wondering why you didn't go through the data type assignment I submitted.
All right,
I know
we'll
I
see
got
that.
your
It's not
feedback
running on
this
mine,
morning
but
that
we're
it
gonna
was
check
not
that out
running,
later.
but it's running on my computer.
Yep. So, does anyone have a feedback for this code? I'm gonna make it bigger. Just raise your hand if you have a feedback, please. Okay, great. No feedback. So the only feedback I would give is the one I mentioned up here. It's good to make your code readable. I feel you should have spaced it out a bit. So you see this part. This part is a little bit packed. What you could have done is after these braces, just put an enter so that it comes to the next line. Indent, of course. So see, this is easy to read now. So don't pack up your codes together. Put it on the next line. You also see these braces at the end here. You should not put it there. It's better you just put it on the next line. That way you make it readable. Then this else, it would be better you just put it like this. So now if someone is just reading it in face value, it's easy to read. The eye picks it up quick, easier. Chance, you have a question?
Yeah, I was wondering if there's like a
Very good question.
this
Very, very good. So I'm just gonna control
IntelliJ
Z all of
uses
this. Oh,
plugins
sorry,
that helps
not
to
this
like.
part. So what you know is asking is saying is I'm gonna say it the way I think she's saying it. It's like shit. I'm lazy. I can't be doing this all the time. Is there a way IntelliJ can help me with this formatting nonsense? Very good question. That's why we have IntelliJ indeed. So let's go give IntelliJ the assignment and see if IntelliJ can really help us with it. So I'm gonna control paste this. So remember, I'm telling so oh, this could have been like this, could have been like that, blah blah blah. So what you can do is we go into view. I think IntelliJ has that, so we just have to look for it. I think it should be called something like auto formatting. So I think we go under code. Let's see, it should be somewhere around here. Format code. You see it here? So I think we have to control A your whole code. Let's select the whole code using control A. And I think if we come into code, go to format code, then it should align everything properly. See that? You see that? It did everything for you. So technically, when you finish writing your code, if you write it all gibberishy, you can always do Control A, come in here under code, then you say format code, and it will clean it up for you and make it look nice. So that's does that answer your question, Chinoso? All right, all right. So I also have one feedback for
Yeah,
um
thank you. I was
Obina. Obina solved this problem. So let's take it there as well. I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna paste it here. We're gonna overwrite this one. So this is main. Let me see what's going on here. What's not working? What's the problem? It has one error. Public class main. missing? Missing package assignment. Ah, okay. So I'm gonna call this. Okay, I'm gonna Control Z. So because I removed the package name, it was complaining. So I'm gonna keep the package name there because we are actually putting it inside a package assignment. So this line is compulsory. All right. So let's run OB's code and see what OB's code is gonna do. So OB's code indeed asks for the first name. So I'm gonna say Darlington. I am 12. Say sorry, you're underage, no access, which is fine, absolutely correct. That is what we wanted. And I'm gonna try. My name is Obi. I am 25, and it says welcome Obi. You may enter. So this is also nice. You guys also using the name of the inputs. Very nice. So let's look at the code for a minute and see what Obi could have done better. Um, I don't know if you guys can see it properly. So, does anyone have a feedback what he thinks Obi could have done better? You know, so just raise your hand if you can. Just scan through it. I'll give you guys like 30 seconds to just scan through it and raise up your hand if you think you have a feedback for him. All right, go ahead, Constance. All right, go ahead.
Is it because he's a scanner and also
Go ahead.
buffered
Tell him what
reader?
you should have done.
Sorry? So you can they both do the same thing, I think. So maybe just use one scanner or
Very much, very
either the
good.
scanner or the buffer.
So, sorry, I'm chewing something. So, very good feedback. What Constance is actually saying is these two lines, this line and this line, are actually doing the same thing. You don't have to use both of them. Now, this, what you see here, system.in, is Java's way of opening itself up for a user input. So you see there's system.in here and there's also system.in here. So it's just Java opening itself up and saying, okay, I'm ready for input. But when the user gives the inputs, Java needs something to be able to translate it in such a way that it could be used in your code. And that is why you need a scanner. So when you say, okay, Java opens this up for an input, you have to take that input and put it inside a scanner, and then you can use it. So you see here, you now have your variable called scanner, and you used it here to get the first name. But buffer also does the same thing. But buffer's own way of making it something you can use is when Java opens itself up to receive an input, you have to take that and put it into an input stream, which is what you did here. And then that input stream, you have to put it into a buffer reader, and then you can use it because you have a variable here and you see you used it here. So technically, they are doing exactly the same thing. So you don't have to use two of them like this. It works, but you're just wasting computer memory because you're going to use a computer memory to generate this, and it's going to use a different computer memory to generate this. So what you ideally want to do is use just one. So let's use scanner because I think scanner is quite easy for you. So I'm just going to comment this out. So because I comment this out, you see this line is breaking now because it cannot find the BR variable anymore. So here we said you read your first name, you said scanner.next line, right? Then you have to come in here now and do the same thing, but instead of doing it this way, um, I see you also use the converter we talked about, which is very nice. So you can now come in here instead of using this BR for buffer reader, we can do the same thing which you did here, which is you said scanner dot next line. Just come in here and you do exactly the same thing. Just copy and paste it here. So when it gets the next line or gets the next input, which is this age. Remember, I said anything that comes in from the user is a string. You now take that string, you now convert it to an integer, and then you save it in age. So if we run it now, let's see what it's gonna do. So I saved it. I'm gonna run it. So we're gonna say OB, and the age is 60, and you see it says welcome OB. So it doesn't matter which of the two you use, just use one of them. Constance, go ahead.
I'm just gonna make a comment because for the
But
age thing, instead of using
exactly. So
as kind of the
Constance is also
next
saying
line, you
that
could also use
if you
kind of
don't
the
feel like
next
using this
int,
convert,
and basically does the same
uh,
thing.
Scanner has a way that it can convert what you're inputting already. So you don't have to get it as a string and then convert it. So Scanner already has something that can help you convert it while it's coming to while it's receiving it. And if you want to use that, you can get rid of the int, the this whole stuff. So now you have Scanner. Then instead of next line, you can say next int. So what happens here is Scanner now, when it receives it, remember it's receiving it, and everything it receives is a string. Once it comes in here, it will just convert it for you. So that's the cool thing about Scanner. It can convert it for you. So you see, we even have more of that. We have next int, we have next byte. You can convert directly to bytes. You have which other one? Let's look for other. So we have so next byte, next short. You see, and that's the beauty of IntelliJ. IntelliJ can give you all of this. And if it's just string, if it's just a normal string, you can just use next line. So this would also do the job perfectly for you, right? So the lesson here is you can use a buffer reader or you can use a scanner. Anyone that suits you, you can use. All right. So Constance, is there any questions? No. So Chinonso was like, "Oh, what about mine? You didn't show mine. I want you to solve mine because Chinonso solved one of the questions, but no, not this one. Chinonso solved one of the questions, but it wasn't working on my computer. And let's see what that was like. So that was this part. So maybe we can all see, try to find out what the problem was. So, let's see. So I'm gonna open it with an editor. So when I try to run this code, right? So let me do it from here. Command. Uh, so I'll say Java data. So you see, I got an error, and the error is saying can't find main method in class. Okay. I also found another main method in your code. This is the main method I found in your code, and if I run it, uh, which was this one, let me just close this. So Java main. So this is the output. So this is something different from the assignments, right? So is it in the main?
Um,
This
please
oh
can you go
the
back?
file.
Like
Yeah.
I saw something else. Like go back.
Back again?
No, in the
Back
file.
again?
In the file is I sent.
And this one is the other assignment over here.
Um,
So maybe you sent me
yeah, one more.
maybe you,
Yeah.
okay, go ahead. Okay, share
Okay.
your screen. Let's see what you got.
Okay, but
But we're gonna still
should I
talk
share
about this.
my
So there's
screen and show you how?
some interesting things here. But share your screen.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It's coming up.
Okay. I think I should share my entire screen because
Just run it.
okay, look,
Just open it the way you normally open it and just
should I
let's see
share
if it
from
works.
where I
And
the
we'll
file
try
itself I
to
sent to you? That will make more
Okay.
sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, so now this is my screen. I don't know if it's showing.
Ah.
Then I go here.
Ah.
I go
Okay.
to
Okay.
public
Okay.
static
Okay. Okay. Okay.
main
So,
run,
I
and
understand
it's
what's
out.
going on there. So, very good. I can see that, but your code will not work. And the only reason why it's working is because IntelliJ just has a feature where you can run a code in a code. So that's why you see that play there. You understand? It's just IntelliJ just helps you out. But this code, if you give it to me, if you give it to someone else, or if you put it in a TV to run, it will not run. And the reason why it will not run, we have to discuss it because I think we have a lot to learn from this code. But good job, but your code will not work. It only works in IntelliJ because IntelliJ has a play button that is forcing you to that is allowing you to do what you just did. But we're going to try to explain why it's not working. So let's do that. But the whole team is going to help out with this. So I'm going to share my screen again. Can you stop sharing, please? Um, let's see.
Okay.
All right, so guys, great
Wait.
effort from Chinon. So I think she's onto something. But look at, I'm just gonna try to scroll because it's a bit of a long code. So just try to code because you guys are gonna tell me what is the problem, why is it not working, what is going on here. So I'm scrolling now gradually. Please look at it and let's try to solve it together. Okay, so I'm gonna start with Constance. Constance, why is this code not working? What is going on here, in your opinion? All right.
I think uh, ik heb geen idee. There's like static class. It's not. I don't know what that
Okay.
is.
Okay.
Maybe like if they put
Okay.
like private or public
Define. Do you have something
before
for
the
us?
static. Ik heb geen idee.
Okay. Let me try to. If I zoom out, I think you guys, it will be difficult to read.
I can't see
So
the whole code.
let me see. Does this gives it a little bit of it's a little bit readable, but very small.
Yeah.
So bring her, put her next to me here
Can
now.
you scroll down?
She has a main method here.
Where's your main method?
Just put her here. On to you. All right. You still want to try? Okay. All right. All right. Constance, you have your hands up.
It's kind of difficult to figure out what she did, like with this, with what I'm seeing.
Okay. So Constance is suggesting the. You mean higher up here?
I think that the main method
Okay.
should be like way higher, right?
Okay.
Like
Well,
yeah,
good.
like the variable should be inside the main methods. Also, okay.
Okay. Which is the bigger class?
She has another class in the super class, in the bigger class. She has a data type of variable. Then she has
Okay.
another class. Still, I
You
don't
have an
know.
engine. Okay. Okay. So you
uh,
feel it should be
Is
separate.
the
Okay.
class not supposed to be separate?
All right. Great. So
The engine
it's
class.
good you guys are. Oh, Obi. I forgot Obi, talk to me. Do you have feedback for? Okay.
Hmm?
Okay.
I,
All right.
yeah,
Constance.
I was actually looking for the
I
main
mean,
class, but I think we found it, so
Naomi.
that
Do
was
you have
what I
something
wanted to
feedback?
say. I can't really find anything else wrong with the code. No, yeah.
Okay. All right. So in what you guys have said, there's all elements of correctness, but we have to bring it all together.
No.
You understand? So first of all, what I see Chinonso is doing here is Chinonso has a class called car dimension. Inside that class, she has another class. She now inside that class, she now has another class, and inside that class, she now has another class, and inside that class, she now has a main method. So it's just like she hit the main method inside the well. That's how it looks like, and that's why it's just like saying so it's just like saying the entrance of your door is in the middle of your house. You get it? So, and you're not telling me enter the house. I cannot enter the house because your door is in the middle of the house. I can't enter because there is no entrance. Do you understand? So this is your outermost class data type variable. This one, but there is no door here. Instead, you have another class. Inside this class, you have another class. Inside this class, you have another class. Inside this one, you have another class. And then you now put the door in the middle of your house. So nobody can enter because the whole wall of your outer building, your outer class is closed. There's no main method there. So that's why I say I think Constance said something, or it was if I said something like maybe the main should go a little bit higher. So there's an element of truth there. Secondly, um, I think why you did this is because you want to separate the section. So I think you see you have dimension, you have engine, you have suspension, you have fuel. So I think that's what you were trying to do here, which is actually a brilliant idea, but you just have to execute it better. You understand? So ideally, what you want to do is you want to separate this. If you want to use this technique, so because what you're doing here is you are creating what we call objects. This is a way to create objects. We're going to dive into this even better later, where you guys will understand the power of this thing. That's why I think you're already jumping ahead of the class, but you just need to know how to do it properly. But because of you did this, I'm just going to try to show you guys how it's done the right way. So it's possible when I show it now, some people might not understand, but some might pick it up. But this is how to do it the right way. So what Chinonso is trying to do is she's trying to make each section an object. Remember what we said? An object is like a person. So you have a person. A person has attributes. He has black hair. He has blue eyes. All these kind of things are called properties, right? We're gonna look into these things later, but remember in the beginning I gave like a short theory of that. So that's what Chinoso is doing. Chinoso is saying, okay, I want to create an object called car dimensions, and these are the properties it has. It has a length of this, it has a weight of this, it has a weight of this, blah blah. But the problem she now did is inside this car dimension, she now added another object called engine, and there is no way an engine will be inside a car dimension. It just doesn't work. One, and secondly, if you want to create objects, it's better you put them in separate files. So let's try to do what Chinonso is trying to accomplish here, which is also something we'll be doing a lot in the future. But let's do that here. So I'm going to create a new package. I'm going to call this nonso version. That's the name of the package. I'm going to create a new class. What was the name of your outermost class? You can also call this class data type and variable. So I'm gonna call that the same name, new. I'm gonna add a class name. I'm just gonna paste the name Chinonso gave it. So this is Chinonso's first class. So inside the class, we see Chinonso just also directly created car dimensions. So I'm gonna copy this name car dimensions, and instead of putting it in this class, I'm going to create another class. So you see, this is what you should have done. You create another class, and you put it and you say car dimension. So you have now two classes inside the Nonso version package. So you see, you have car dimensions. Now I'm gonna copy your car dimensions, all this stuff you put in here. I'm going to paste it in here. This is now the property. Remember I told you guys this car dimension now have property of length, have property of weight, have property has all of these beautiful properties. Then then we're gonna we're going to do the same thing for the engine. We're gonna come here, create another class, call it engine. Then I'm gonna come and copy all of this stuff that made here. I'm gonna put it in the engine class, which are the properties of the engine class. And I'll go to the next one. She also has suspension. I'll create another class called suspension. And then I'll copy all of this stuff, all the property she defined for suspension. I'm gonna do that here. Then I'll go to the last one, I think. There's the last one, fuel efficiency. I'll create another class called fuel efficiency. Then I'll copy the properties that she has for fuel efficiency. Great. So now, what I've done now is I've split all these sections, these blocks, into their own objects, which is this fuel efficiency, engine, blah, blah. So that's what she's trying to do. You have dimension, engine, suspension, fuel, and all of these are the properties of each of these objects. So what you're actually doing now is, or what we are actually doing now is actually what we call object-oriented programming. So like I said, Chinonso is going ahead a little bit of us, but since she has done it, let me just we're gonna go into it deeper, but I just want to make her see how it's done properly. So we have created all of those things in their object and given it the properties that they belong to. Now, where do you guys now think that this main method should be? If we look at what we're doing here, where should it be? We have all of this stuff now. Where should the main method be? Which of the classes? So we have this one, we have this one, we have this one, we have this one, and we have this one. Does anyone know? You can raise your hand if you know. All right, Chinoso, shoot. We don't have a public class here. Try again, try again. Don't give up.
Maybe in the public class.
So this
Oh.
is the name of the package. So this non-false version is just the name of the folder. But where should the main method? Remember, the main method is just
Like in the Nurse's
is a
version.
behavior, is an action, is the door. Where should the door be? In and the door should be in one of these classes we have here. Which of the classes should it be in? Try one more time. In the car dimensions, okay? Ifeanyi, you want to try?
In
Okay,
car
and why?
dimension. The first.
Yeah, in the data type and variables. I think it should be there because the card dimension is I think is a separate object. The engine is a separate object. Fuel efficiency is a separate object. Suspension is a separate
Fantastic.
object. I
That's
think the data
exactly it.
type
The
and
data type is look at
variables
Chinos, look at what
is
you're
where you
doing.
should run the code,
This dimension is an object.
like the door to
That's
the
what you
code.
created, which is awesome. This is an object. This is an object. This is an object. But you need something to be able to bring all of them together. And that was why you did this. Sorry?
I was looking for the data type and I was
Oh,
looking
okay.
for it.
So this is the data type and variable. And if you look
When
at
you
your
asked
code,
the
look at that's
question, I
what
was
you did
looking for.
here.
I
That
was
was the
expecting it to be
first
in
class
the
you
first
created.
line.
So
I was
since
not
this is
wearing
the
my
first class
glasses.
that
I was
contains or
looking
that
for
is
the
going to
data
show
type and.
the whole stuff, that's where it should be. So see it as that first class is like your paper, like this paper here. And inside this paper, that's where all of your dimensions will come in. So I'm going to go ahead and copy your main method. It doesn't mean your it doesn't mean your main method is going to work out of the box though, but we're going to copy it and see if we can make some changes to it. So I'm going to copy only your main method. Then I'm going to come into your data variable and put it here. So now we have your main method in the right place. But the problem now is that we have, oh, wonderful. You even did my work for me. So I'm going to take all of this. I'm going to put them up. So you see, you even started creating the objects yourself. See, you created instances of the objects. That's how you do that. I'm going to explain what that is. I'm going to copy this one too. So I think your code is even going to work now out of the box, if I'm not mistaken. So let's look for another one, suspension. So you, oh, suspension. I'm gonna cut this, put it up here. Please don't worry if it's a bit confusing. So decided to become a guru, and it's actually a good idea, a good thing. She's just introducing us to what we're gonna learn in the future. But this is good. This is beautiful stuff. So it's also nice she was trying to play around with this. So so you see we have one, two, three, four objects that we created, and now since they're in different their own different objects, you have to do a create what we in their own different classes. You have to create what we call an instance of an object. So since we have this car dimension, and Chinonso wants to use all these values in this car dimension, right? Then you have to create a new instance of it. And how you do that is you give it the name of the class, you give it a variable name, and then you say new car dimension. What will now happen is in memory, it's when you run this code, it's going to create a variable called car, and inside this car, it will hold all the information we find in this car dimension. Then you can start using it. So let's see if this code is going to run now out of the box. Let's give it a try, and we see it's working. Now let's go back again and do it the way I tried to do it before, which did not work. So let's see if it will work this time. So I'm gonna go into the code. Let me see, where's my file path. So this is Java code, Java TCP superhero. All right, so I'm gonna go in there. So this is it. No, not here. Training. Oh, where's my code again? Document, TechCodePractice code. Okay, it's in my documents. TechCodePractice, TechCodePractice, code, think Java, right? Code, Java TCP. Okay, Java TCP superhero source, non-source version, and this is it, right? So I'm gonna try to run it now the way I try to run it. I'm gonna run my command, and now remember I have to run it from the class that has the main method. So and the class that has the main method is this data type and variable.java. So I'm gonna say Java data type and variable.java, and check this out. Oh, it's giving me an error. And let me see, what is it saying? It's saying cannot find symbol car dimensions. Let's see what's going on here. Cannot find symbol. And that is also correct. Let me see. So IntelliJ actually is helping us with a lot of these things. So that's why we're not getting the errors here. So let's see. It's saying Java cannot find symbol car dimensions. Let's see if that's in here. In here. Engine class suspension. Okay, so let me give this another try. So let's see if we're making any errors here. Suspension. Okay, so let's give me a minute. Fuel efficiency data type variable that I cannot find symbol. Okay, another thing you can do when you get an error and you're not really sure of it is let's go to YouTube, which is used to be very helpful stuff. Let's see if YouTube can help us. We're not going to spend too much time on it. Uh, if it takes too long, I'm going to solve it myself and show it to you guys later or during our next training. But let's see if we can find a quick solution to it. QLI class, compilation image. Either there's a problem with your Java source code or there's a problem in the way you're compiling. Okay, okay. So I think the problem is that I have to compile my code first. So I think that's a problem. And for me to compile my code, I'm going to explain what that is. Uh, But let me try it first and see if that works. So Java compilation, use Java C, and then the name of the class. I'm gonna run it, compile it, and we see it's giving me an error because it cannot compile. It's a compilation error. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna try to solve this myself, and I'm gonna come back with a solution so we don't spend too much time on this. But this is beautiful stuff. We are going to look into it as soon as possible. Let me see. I think someone is raising up their hands. Let me try to find my screen again. Yeah. Okay. Chinonso, go ahead.
So what this is showing me that IntelliJ is not
So
like a
technically,
good
IntelliJ is the
platform
best
for
platform. So whatever is
writing your
missing
code for
here,
Java because it might just tell you that something you're doing is
IntelliJ is
right.
fixing it for you.
Meanwhile,
But the
it's
thing
not running
is,
other
when you're done
platforms.
writing your code, you also should use IntelliJ to package your code, to prepare it for production, which is a separate thing. So when you finish it now, IntelliJ has tools that would help you, like you see, build project. It will now fix everything for you and make it ready for you to send to a user. But the thing there is, I want you guys to also learn how to run your codes outside of IntelliJ too sometimes. And when you make sure when it's not working like this, we need to know why. And if you don't know why, like because it's not every company you go to that they'll be using IntelliJ. There's some companies you go to they're using something else. So when you run into situations like this, you need to know what the problem is. So IntelliJ is just helping you with a lot of headaches, which myself, if I'm programming, I'm always going to
Mhm.
program in IntelliJ. But when you are learning, I want to take you guys through all these stages so that you would be familiar with problems, know how to solve it, and all of that. You understand? So that's the thing. But IntelliJ
Okay.
is actually the best to use because it's yeah it fixes a lot of headaches for you and just makes you concentrate on on coding. So you see, like it's not even it fixes whatever issue that we're having there, and so that you can concentrate on the real programming stuff you want to do. All right, so I promise I will fix this code, and we'll come back to it. So I just don't want us to take too much time on it during our training. So I hope it was helpful looking through the past examples. It's very, very, very important that we do this because, like I said, this is not school. Please, you guys should understand something. Nobody's assigning grades to you guys. Nobody is saying you're going to come out with a first class upper. The best way for you guys to make the best of this training I'm giving you guys is absorb it, learn it. There's no grading. There's don't go and do shortcut and be like, oh, they gave me assignment. Let me just go to Google and do it. Yeah, if you're doing that, you're cheating yourself because I'm not grading you. You don't need to carry first. You understand? It's better you do it, you know it. It's better you have those errors. It's better you get confused because I am here to help you. And imagine you start understanding each line that we've passed through. You understand what it's doing. You are preparing yourself for the real job. Because programming is not like bank job or like all those jobs that when you just sit down, they'll pay you. No, you have to do it. You have to understand what you're doing. You understand? So please try. Don't get scared of errors. Play around with stuff. You understand? And I really want to break things down the best way I can because my goal for this training is I want to make sure that you guys will have enough of what you need to start looking for a job. I also got feedback from Chinonso last time I visited her. She was like, "Yeah, we did HTML training last time, but it didn't really prepare me for much because I wasn't like prepared enough for the job market." Do you understand? And that's what I'm trying to change with this training. I want this training, that's why the training is going to be quite a little bit long. My goal is I want to take you guys from these baby steps now. I'm going to tell you guys everything you need to know till you get your first job that you want to land. You understand? And the only way you can keep up is if you are following the training, if you are doing the assignments. You understand? And that's my goal. And so that maybe when I come back and I ask you, students will be like, okay, you gave me everything I need. You understand? But it doesn't mean the HTML training we did was bad because we are still gonna do HTML in this Java. We're gonna see how HTML still comes into this thing. And that's when you guys be like mind blown, like, oh my god, thank God I learned HTML because now I can use it in Java and do stuff. So, so please don't just some of you might be like, oh, this is too easy. Just do it because remember, you're learning a new language. Because you did something in JavaScript does not mean it's the same in Java. The syntax is different. So get used to it. Type system.out.print. Type all of this stuff so that you'll be like, oh, now I know how to do it. You understand? So please just practice it. Do your assignments. It will help you. And for me, it will make me very, very happy to see that one of you, or if not all of you, really use this in your career or whatever. Right? So, and I'm really excited with your assignments. I'm excited like what so is doing with the classes is beautiful, and what you guys have all been messing around trying to be creative. Very, very nice. I encourage you to continue to do that. All right. So let's go back to the regular schedule program. So a lot of exciting things are coming. A lot, a lot, a lot. And you guys are already fascinating me already. So let's go to the next part. So if you remember last time we started playing around with control flows. You guys did amazing with the control flows. Some of you are already used to control flows for those that have been programming a bit. But for the rest of you, I'm very, very happy. I also saw Sumba's assignment at home. She just didn't have time to submit it. But Sumba also did very good. I don't know why Sumba didn't even submit assignments. But you understand. Oh, okay. So in my from my evaluation, all of you, although if I didn't see yours, of course. So if I please next time try to do your assignments. But I am very happy that you guys, especially the control flow, you guys know exactly what it is. You guys are playing around with it, and all of you, I think everybody's control flow works. So that is beautiful. Also, very, very happy with the variables used to be something that used to drive people crazy. Like I don't understand it, I don't know what it is, but I'm happy to see you guys are playing with variables and you guys, know what to do with it. It's beautiful. So this control flow is a very important part. It's gonna play. It's gonna be part of your life. Let me put it like that. As a Java programmer, you're gonna be doing so much with control flows, if else, and there are other versions of it. But for now, we did this if else, and I saw that you guys really played with it. So also okay, this was the lab exercise. So we're gonna dive into the next part, and we're still gonna play with control flows, and I want you guys to do something. You understand? So today, like I said, I want you guys to do hands-on. We're gonna use the first 30 minutes to solve this problem. Do you understand? So everybody's gonna jump on their computer again. Look at the problem. We want to create a calculator. Everybody now is obsessed about weights. People want to know if they're obese, if they're fat, if they're not fat. How about we just design a software that can help people figure out if they're obese or not? And guess what? I have the formula for you guys. All you just have to do is write the program. Now, what is the program supposed to do? The program, when you run it, is going to ask the user for his weight. That's the first question. Enter your weight. Then it's going to ask the user to enter their height. Then when the user inputs those two values, the program is going to output um, the BMI value of the person. And the BMI value, how would you know the BMI? This is how you calculate BMI. BMI, the calculation for BMI is weight. Remember, the user input the weight. Weight divided by height times height will give you the BMI value. So the program will output the BMI value of that person. And then also output it will output one of these four words. It's gonna say you're normal, you're obese, or you're underweight, or you're overweight. And how is the program gonna know which of this to choose? Now, when you calculate your BMI, if the BMI is less than 30, the program will print underweight. If the BMI is above or equal to the BMI weight and greater than 30, it means the person has a normal weight. So you print out normal. If the person's BMI is 80 and greater than uh is sorry, if the BMI of that person is the way you read this is actually if the BMI is less than or equal to 80 or greater than equal to 50 is overweight. I don't know if you guys did this in school, but basically that is what it is. So if 80 is greater than or equal to the BMI and the BMI is greater than or equal to 50, then you're overweight. And then if 100 is greater than or equal to the BMI or greater than or equal to 80, you're obese. So I already gave you guys the formula on how to figure out which of this to print. The only thing I want you guys to do is write the program. Now, don't look at this and be like, oh my God, I don't know where to start. Don't do that. Start from the beginning. What is the beginning? Start from, first of all, how do I get the user inputs? You guys already know that. Start from the beginning, get the user weight, get the user height. Next thing you ask yourself, okay, what do I have to do? I have to return the BMI. Okay. Then you say, okay, how do I get the BMI? You take the weight, you divide it by the height times the height. Do that. So what am I trying to say? Take it step by step. A lot of time, junior programmers, when they look at the question, they're like, oh my God, look at all this calculation. It's just too much. Oh my God, greater than, oh my God, oh my God, I can't do it. Don't do that. Take it from the top and go one after the other till you get to the bottom. So that even if you get stuck somewhere along the line, you have already gotten a couple of steps right. It's just like math. Math is, you have when you go through it step by step, teachers will mark you for the steps you even did right. Let's do it that way. Don't look at it as one package because if you look at it as one package, it's going to intimidate you. But this is very easy because we are going to do it together. You guys are going to do it individually first, and then we're going to do it together and solve the problem. So, and imagine when you guys solve this problem, you have actually created a software that tells people if they're overweight or obese. So let's go. You guys have 20 minutes to do this. I'm going to set up a timer. Um, I'm also going to share this on the chat so that for those of you that are also using your computer, you can use your chat to read the questions in case it's confused. You don't want to keep altering your screen, so I just pasted it on the chat. Um, and I'm gonna put on the timer. Let's see. Let me add one timer here. I'm going to put on a timer. I'm gonna say Pomo focus. I think we have a timer with Pomo focus. So I'm gonna give you. Okay, let me give you guys 25 minutes. So please jump in, do it, and let's see what we can learn from it, because actually when you guys do this, you guys will be like, yo, I wrote a program. I actually wrote a program that helps people figure out something about their weights. All right, guys, go ahead and get busy. If there's anything, please let me see, please you raise up your hand, or you just speak to me and I will hear and I will come in. All right, is that clear? Obina is raising up his hands. Good. I can hear you. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I want to be clear on the formula
Yeah,
first.
that's it.
The formula is the
All right,
weight
go for it. Go for it.
divided by
I'm excited.
height times height. That's like height raised to power 2, right? Okay, okay.
All right. You guys can hear me, right? Raise up your hand if you can hear me. Sumba, can you hear me? Okay. I think. All right. Great. So you guys can take your hands down and let us go and get this going. So what I would like to do, let me control Z all of this back to
Yes,
what it was,
sorry, I can hear you.
all the way back. All right. It's telling me it can't go anywhere. Fine. So I would like to create this in a separate project because I think this is just going to be a software of its own. So I'm just going to go to file. I'm going to say I want to create a new, I'm going to close this project totally. So I'm going to make it a new project because I feel this is just a software we want to build. We want to build a BMI calculator. Great. So I'm going to call this, I'm going to put it in its own folder. So I'm going to create a folder here. I'm going to call it BMI app. So inside my BMI app, I'm going to create my software name called BMI calculator. This is just me doing it my own way, of course. However you guys did it is fine. But I want to get a feeling like, oh, we're creating our own software, right? So fine, we got our app ready. So we got the first stuff that we normally have, which is our main method. So IntelliJ just gives us some kind of boilerplate code, but we can delete all of this. We don't need it. We just need our main method, and we'll build everything out ourselves. So let me save it. So what else? Why are we having an error here? So let's see. I think I deleted something. Okay, no, I didn't. So fine, I'll get rid of this. That should fix it. So we are great. The name of our class, we're going to rename this class. Instead of leaving it at main, we're going to rename it. To rename your class, you have to go to refactor and you see something like rename here. So we're going to rename the class. We're going to call it BMI app. That's going to be the name of our app. So you see that's it. BMI app is the same name as that of the class. Let me create some space. BMI app, naming everything the same. First thing we have to do, let's go back to our presentation. It says input user weight and user height. So we know we need two things. We're gonna need a user weight. So we're gonna say user weight is a number. So we're gonna say the weight of a person. We're gonna use short for that. Let's just use short, just in case we are weighing Shekilody, which is very heavy. So it's a user weight. We're gonna call this a variable weight. We're gonna leave it empty, no, because we don't have it yet. We're gonna create another one, short, and we're gonna call this height because we have the likes of Shaquille O'Neal that is very tall. Great. The next thing, if we look at it, so we want the user to be able to give us his weight and height. That's the input. So we're gonna create a scanner. We're gonna say scanner. Or we can give it. Of course, you can give it any variable name you want. You can just call it SCN. But it's very good to always give your variables the names you can recognize it with. So I'll just call it scanner. It's equal to new scanner, and then we'll now get our system dot in there. Great. Then we close it. So we now have our scanner. Let's see what else. It says we have to ask the user. The user should input weight and height. So we're gonna ask the user. Um, so let's make it nice. Let's make it sweet. We say, oh, system the out the print ln. We're gonna say hello. What is your name? So just to be nice, we just want to be a little bit playful. Of course, this is not within the project anyway. So we'll also add another variable and we'll call it string uh, username. So this is not part of it, but I just want it to be sweet so you guys can just see. So we'll say username is equal to scanner dot next thing, next line. So IntelliJ is even helping me. And then I'll now say, do another system.print. I'll do this, copy, paste. Then I'll say, I'll use the person's name, username, and I'll say please enter your weight. So we'll copy the scanner again, and we'll come down here and we'll say, in this case, we're putting a variable weight. I will say next int, right? Which was what, or next short. Remember, it's a short data type, so we make it next short because it's going to be stored in the weight is a short data type, so it has to be next short. Then when the person does that, we'll say another thing. We'll say go to the next one. So the person has entered the weight. We'll say please enter your height. Then we'll go to height again. I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to get the height of the person. Say height. So now we have the weight. Now we have the weight and the height. Then what does it say next? It says output the BMI value of that person. Okay, so we need another variable. We're going to call this variable B. So we know this variable is going to be, is probably going to be, it's going to be, have decimals. So you see, because it's going to have decimal, that means our short is also not very nice because someone can actually weigh 92.5. So if we use short, you see that it's going to, if you use short, it's going to, yeah, it's not going to accept 92.5. It's just going to make it 92. So this our data type is not a good one because it's not going to take point 0.9, point all those things with points. So we have to change this. So let's make this a float. I'm going to change this now, make it a float. So that means our scanner, we have to adjust it. So we're going to say next float. See, now this is next float. This will be next float. So that way, if someone is 92.1, we want those value, right? Good. So now we're going to create another float and call it BMI. Float BMI. This is where our BMI calculation is going to be. So we're going to say, okay, now we've collected the weight and height. We're going to say BMI is equal to, remember the formula? The formula says weight. We're going to say weight divided by height times height. So this is our BMI. So we have our BMI. Then let's print the message again. We're gonna say, we're gonna do a copy again. We're gonna say, we'll call the person by name again because we like the person. Username. We're gonna say plus, give it a comma. We'll say your BMI is semicolon, put plus here, and we'll say BMI because we have the BMI value. Then we'll go to the next one. So now we've satisfied this one. Output and return the BMI value. Now output normal, obese, underweight, or overweight. So now we want to check if the person is underweight, overweight, and all that. So we now go with if. So we have 50. So remember we did it that way where we say int, because we see all of these are whole numbers. So let's just use bytes because they are very small numbers. So bytes 50 is equal to 50. Bytes, what's the next one? Bytes 30. We also have 30 equal to 30. We have bytes 80. 80 is equal to. So I'm creating variables. I'm sure you guys know what this is. Variables, and I'm storing the value in it. And we have 100 bytes. 100 is equal to 100. Then we'll now start with the first one. If the BMI is less than 30, the person is underweight. So if BMI is less than 30, remember we have our variable 30. Then let me scroll up a bit. If the person is 30, we'll print system.out.println, and we'll say you are, we're gonna say, okay, let's use the name of the person again. We'll say username plus you are underweight. End. Then we'll copy our if statement again. Leave some space. Let me just leave some space here so it's easy to read. Leave another space here. I would say the next one is if 50 is greater or equal to BMI. So say if 50, we already have a variable, is greater than or equal to BMI, and BMI is greater than or equal to 30, and BMI is greater than or equal to 30, so remove that one in front. Then what message should we say? You're normal. Say you are normal. Normal. Then we copy this one again. Then the third one is if 80 is greater than or equal to, so we have 80. If 80 is greater than or equal to BMI and BMI is greater than or equal to 50, then you have to say you are overweight. Overweight. Then we'll have another one. I'm using Control D to duplicate. So I just highlight, I do Control D and it copies whatever I highlighted for me. Then the last one is 100. So say 100 is greater than or equal to, so 100 is greater than or equal to BMI and BMI is greater than or equal to 50, is greater than or equal to 80. 80. So that's it. This is our software. It should work. All right, so let's give it a try. We're gonna run it and let's see what it's going to do. It says, hello, what is your name? I say my name is Nolan. Said Nolan. Okay. So we see Nolan and please as concatenated. They are joined together. It doesn't look nice. So I'm gonna cancel that and let me fix that real quick. Let me see. I'm gonna stop the code. So let me fix that. So that is here Nolan. I'm gonna put a comma, put a space. I'm going to also do the same here. Put a comma, put a space. So it's sweeten the I. Yeah. Now try it again. Run. So do it again. What's your name? Uh, Sorry, it's not intentional. What's your name? Nolan. Nolan, please enter your weight. So at this point, I think I weigh 95. Oh my God, this is gonna tell me. No, I weigh 94 actually. I think I weigh 93 points. Let's make it 0.5. Okay, it throws an exception. Let's see what is it saying. Exception in thread, main Java util, input mismatch. Exception. So it's saying that my input does not match what I'm trying to get in. So let's see what the problem is. So I put my name. I'm expecting a float. This is a float. Input mismatch. Let's see. Main try scanner throw. Please enter your weight. That is. Sorry. Uh, Could be, but I also see that my floats, remember my floating value should always have an F at the end. So there's no way for me to put that F in there, and I think that's what's confusing it, which is quite an interesting thing to think about. But okay, let's do something else. Let's make it double now. Sumba came to whisper, she's like, oh, maybe you should try double. All right, let's try the double. Let's see. So that means we're gonna change this to next double. Let's see if we have next double. Yes, we have next double. We have next double. I'm still going to come back to that float and see how we can still fix that. But it's possible because we have to put an F behind it. When I was putting my input, it didn't find the F and it's like, yo, I don't know what that is. So let's see, BMI is that. So, okay, let's give it a try again. Let me come back here. I will try it again. It's beautiful to always have these errors because it makes you wonder, what did I do wrong? So I'm going to say doll, and I'll say I had 93.5 again. And it's still complaining. Oh my God, what is going on? So let's see. The thread Java util says input mismatch exception. Okay, I don't have to look at this because it's an error. So it's, and I also think that the double also requires a prefix. So let me see. Let's look at our data type again. Let's. It requires a D. So let's see if we do that, if it's going to accept it. Definitely, there must be a way to circumvent that. And I think the float also has that problem. But let's see. If I put a D, what happens? So
It
let's
requires
say
D.
93.5 D. I don't know if the D is a capital. Let me see. Is it a capital or a small letter? I don't know if did we do that? Um, okay, I think it's a small letter. Yeah, let's leave it as a small letter. Let's see. And it didn't take it. Let me try one more time. One more time. Let's try with the float again. Let's see if we can put an F and see if it will take it. No, so speak, please. Next, float. Let's try this. No, so you can talk. Oh, okay, okay.
Chinonso's
All
not
right,
here.
this is nice. Let's see if we can try one more time before I would have two assignments to figure it out for you guys. So let's start with doll again. I'm gonna say 95.5.
Sorry, I think my hands has been up
Just an error.
since
So there
since.
is a reason why it is breaking here. So, and I see I'm trying to convert the inputs directly. It's my scanner is not doing that properly. So what I would probably like to do is let me see if I can uh, collect it with read line and convert it then. So I'm going to say something like float. I'll say convert float. I think we have convert float. I think. What was that again? Let me see. Just give me a minute. Let me see. How do we do that again? I think we have. I'm just googling real quick. Yeah. Just give me a minute. Float dot. Let me see. Let me see how to do that. Just give me a minute. Yeah, I think we should have like. All right, let me show you guys what I'm looking at. So I think we should have something like this: float dot pass float that we can use to convert the read line. Let's see if it's going to accept it this time. We're gonna try it again with the next one, and if this doesn't work, then I have an assignment to fix for you guys. So next line would be, so we're gonna pass it as well. Use the converter because we want to convert it to float, and let's give this a try again. So we're gonna say doll again, doll. So 93.5, and we see it took that value. And for some reason, I think our converter using the internal scanner converter, it's not probably converting properly. So yeah, unfortunately, we have to go back to our converting with normal floats. So at least we learned one thing. So now we want to give our height. Our height. How tall am I? Oh my God, Sumbo, how tall am I? I should be like I should be like 7 or 8 feet tall, right? I think so. But just because I'm a humble guy, I'll say 5.9. And then you see, it tells me my BMI is 2.68, blah, 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 and you are underweight. Okay, that's quite scary. I wouldn't have thought I was underweight. I don't really know my height, actually, to be honest. But also, let us look at this calculation and see if we can get some more details about this calculation. So, uh, in terms of height, we are also not sure what type of height we should get, right? If it, is it is it centimeters, is it meters? So let's see what kind of height we should have. So let's say BMI calculator, uh, formula. So your weight, of course, should be in, let's see, body mass index. Let's see, let's see. BMI. I'm looking for the formula. Formula. Yeah. So let's get the formula. So BMI weight in kilos divided by height in meters. So your BMI weight should be in kilos and your height should be in meters. So as you can see here, it is your weight times your height times um, a square root of your height. That's height times height, which is what we did. Okay, so I'm not sure I'm really underweight. Sumo, do you know, or am I like 6 foot? Let's try that again. I would have thought I was probably overweight or something, but I'm not even sure how my height is. So I'm gonna say doll again. My weight is like 93, 167,
Mhm.
57. Oh my God. All right, let's try that. 5.7. Oh, it says I'm underweight. So Sumbo, you see,
Meters,
I have
I
to
think
eat
you're
more. I have to
167
keep
or
eating
so.
more,
And in
more,
inches,
more, more. But
yeah, in inches
that
you're
is
five
actually how
five
you
seven or so.
you can have we just created a software that calculates BMI for people, and you can see the formula is exactly the way it is given on the internet. Um, the only thing is, maybe if you want to fine tune this, you would say something like, you see, you have to direct people what they have to put. So in terms of weight, you say, please enter your weight. You can now do something like this. You say kg. Then in terms of height, you say meters. You tell the people to put it in meters, meters. So that way it's very clear what the people should put in. And the formula is just what it is, which is weight divided by height square, which is what we did here. Let's see our calculation. Height times height, which is height square. We get our BMI. So with that small adjustment we did, it becomes even clearer for those putting the input that you see. Now we want your weight in kg, then it becomes like 93.4. And then my height in meters. Honestly, I don't know my height in meters to be honest. But my wife said 5'9", probably 5.9, and it says I am underweight, which is a good thing. I'll see if that's actually true. So, which of you were able to get this far? Please raise up your hand. All right. We're just gonna use a few minutes to just look at Constance code. We're just gonna take 1 minute to look through it. Share your screen, and let's just see so that everybody can learn. And you see some things are probably slightly different from mine, but you know, let's just take a look at what you did. So, Constance, share your screen real quick. Let's.
How do I share my screen? Oh, fine. Sorry.
Yep. All right. So it says C's BMI calculator. Nice. Trying to be creative. Type in your weight in kg. So you also made it clear in kg. You
Screen.
took the float in, and then you took the
Can
height,
you
which
guys
you
see
said
my
in
screen?
kg. So that should be meters, of course. And then you took the next float, and of course you did the multiplication. Your BMI, you give the BMI. That's good. And you said it's 30. Blah blah blah. Everything looks as it should be. So run it. Let's see. Great. You're underway. Thank you so much. That's great. That's great. So let's go to Ify. Ify, can you share your screen? Let's see what you did.
Okay, cool. 60. Um,
Hello, Ify. Hello, Ify. Can you hear me? Okay. Can you share your screen so you can show us what you did? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you. Could
Okay. Yeah, it's coming up.
I'm coming.
We're actually seeing ourselves and not your code. I think you're sharing the wrong screen.
Can you see my screen?
So I think if you click on that stuff, you choose the entire
You can
screen
see it now,
part
right?
all the way to the right. There's a tab, entire screen, and then just select the window you want to share or the screen you want to share.
Uh,
Coming up. Yeah, we see the code. All right, so let's see. So we see on line 8, you took in, you choose data type floats, which is very nice. You took everything in. You used the buffer reader instead, which is also amazing. You say enter your
How
weight.
about now?
You use the converter, which is pass floats, which is awesome to convert what comes in. I also see on line 17 you took in the height, and then line 19 you calculated your BMI, which is exactly how it should be. Then you printed out your BMI. Then you started with your if statement, and as you can see, so it's using a new. I mean, sorry. If I is using an if condition that I've not taught you guys yet. It's called a nested if, but we're going to look into that next week. How you can next multiple ifs instead of the way I did it and I cut it into different ifs. But you can next it by saying if, then you say else if. Can you scroll down a bit? Yeah. So he said if BMI is less than 30, go into that block else if, and then the last one, since it was the last option, he now just made it else. And this is another way you can have like nested if. So you can do it like this, or you do it the way we do it. The reason I did not ask you guys to do it like this because I've not taught you guys yet. But since Ify has been programming for a while, he's familiar with this. So run the code. Let's see what you do. You are underweight. Thank you so much. That is beautiful. Remember, the feedback also was more like if you, since you say enter weight, it's also nice to be specific because users will be confused. Like, is my you talking about in LBS or in Kiji? So it's nice to do that. If you're creating an app, make it as clear as possible so that the user would know what to put in. But amazing. So raise up your hand if you're on the right direction with your code, even though you didn't finish, but you feel watching what everyone has done, you feel you're in the right direction. Raise up your hand. So I see Chinonso raising up her hand. Who else thinks, okay, Obi, you think you're in the right direction? You just didn't finish. What
All
about Sumbo? Suba, you felt you're in the right direction. Okay, okay, okay. So that makes me very happy. If you're not in the right direction, please be open to say it because that's how I can help you. So please, 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 guys, finish it up. For those that have not that did not finish it up. You see, it's a beautiful thing. You see, you guys have actually created an app for yourselves. Like you have created a software that calculates BMI. This is the same calculation that when you go to the municipal or you go to places where you calculate your BMI. This is exactly what they use. You understand? So this is you creating your first app. So please finish it up if you did not finish it. I'm going to give you guys also very exciting assignments again. Hands on, there's nothing as good as doing it yourself. So we have another interesting uh, one. Let's see. So we are going to do Aboki FX. This is something we all like. Conversion rate is going high above the roof, but we need a calculator. My wife keeps asking me, "What is exchange rates? What is exchange rates? What is exchange rates? What is exchange rates?" How about we write a software that helps people calculate their exchange rates? Now, of course, uh, there's a way to make it do even cooler stuff, which is by getting the exchange rate from an external source, which is what you see I put here. But I'm going to teach you guys this later, where you can ask a website like Aboki FX to give you to give you the conversion to tell you what a dollar is in naira, and you take that value and use it to calculate what the person puts in. But that's not what we're going to be focusing for now. Now we're going to write our own Aboki FX, where we're going to ask the user to tell us what the conversion is. So take for example, you know €1 is equal to 1,500. The first input will be what is €1 to naira. You understand? That's what you ask the user. What is €1 to naira? So you now put okay 1,500. Then you now ask the user how much euro do you want to convert? So the person will now say, I want to convert €1,000. So you already have your formula. So remember the person has already told you what €1 is to naira, and then the person now tells you you want to convert 1,000 naira. So you know the easy math. The easy math is the conversion times 1,000 naira. If you convert that together, it will tell you how much you're going to get in naira. So that's what you're going to have as an output here. So this is very simple stuff. So please do this in the future. I'm going to show you guys how to do it without you putting the exchange rate yourself. You're going to be able to get that from Aboki FX or some other guys, and then you can convert things for people. Chino, so you have a question? Okay, you're talking about the other assignment, right? Okay, we're going to look at it together in a few minutes. So just make sure you understand this assignment I have here. I'll
I think I
populate
did
this
what I was
on
supposed to do, but
the
my code
chat.
is not running, and I think it's from
Then I'll take
the
you guys to the
naming of
second
my
assignment.
public
Let's
class.
see. The second one is
Yeah.
age calculator. Let's see. Yeah, age calculator. So the age calculator, I want you to write a program that takes the birth year of a person and calculates the age of that person up until 2025. So if you ask me, the first question will be like, okay, what is the year you were giving birth to? The person will be like, oh, I was giving birth to in 1990. Okay, your program should calculate what that person's age will be by 2025 and say you should give an output by 2025 you will be dash years old. That's what that program should do. The second one is write a program that takes the age of a user and the program output should be the year the person was born and the year that the person will become 100 years. Does it make sense? So if the input should be what is your age? I would say I'm 40. Okay, you're 40. The person will now tell you you now use that age to calculate um, sorry, should be the year. So you use that age to calculate what year the person was born, and you use that age to calculate uh, what year the person will become 100 years. Does this make sense to you guys? So there's a little bit of simple math in there, which if you just think about it, you might be able to figure it out. And if you don't know the formula for calculating these things, just send a message in the chat, and when anyone sends a message in the chat, anyone that knows the formula should tell that person the math formula. So I want you guys to help each other out just in case. So you guys might all know the formula. If you don't know the formula, please ask the question on the chat. When you do that, one of you or any of you should please try to help the other out. And the formula should be just a maths formula of like this times this by this or whatever. All right. Please, if yes, I'm gonna post this one also in the group. All right. If you understand the assignment, please raise up your hand.
So can you post the assignment in the group?
Okay. I'm seeing Constance and Chinonso not raising their hands. You have a question about the assignment? Is it not clear? If you don't understand the assignment, please raise your hands. So so if you're not raising your hand, that means Constance, do you understand the assignment?
Oh, I did not hear the question.
Okay. Chinonso, do you have questions or do you understand the assignment? Okay. So please, for those that didn't finish the last stuff, please finish it up. And thank you guys so much. Next week we'll be going into some cooler stuff. Guess what? We'll be talking about loops.
Yeah.
It's getting exciting. Like you guys are already playing with if statements. We're gonna talk about loops. Loops is one of the things that's
Yeah, I
kind of
do.
like people are like, oh my god, loops is tricky. But I would try my best to make it as easy as possible. So to the extent that you might start having to play with it, it's one of the integral parts of programming. Loops. We cannot write good programs without loops. So that is what we'll be doing next week, all the way down. So try not to miss the class. If you have a question or not? Okay. So thank you guys for coming. You guys have a lovely weekend. So you can stay online because I think you have a question with your code. So thank you guys. Please practice your code and submit your assignments early enough so that I can look through it. Okay. Thank you guys very much. You have a great weekend. Bye, guys. So you can
No,
hang
no
on
question.
and let's look at your code together. You can share your screen.
Okay.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you. Bye.
Bye.
So where is your code? So, but you,
You
you
can
you do
put
know
my
the problem,
coding
right? I
green.
think you already mentioned it. So what is the problem? So
Okay.
so what should it be then?
So
Okay, so yeah, so that thing you're pointing to is actually the folder. So you see main.java is actually your Java class. If you also look
yeah,
at the top, you see the
I
top
think the
there
problem is
of that
from
tab, you see the name is
the
main.java.
naming, the
So
public class.
your name is not the same as the name of your class. Then secondly, your
Um,
class
I
should
named it the
never
same
have
name
a
I
space
named
between it. I
the
see you have
file
BMI
on
space
this side.
calculator. It should never be like that. So make it a capital C. Good. Capital C. Good. It's always remember that there is no spacing in class name. But the problem is now that your class name is not the same as the file name. So let's change your file name to become the class name. So copy your file name. I mean, copy your class name, BMI calculator. Just highlight it and copy it without space. Just copy only the text. Good. We copied it. So go and right click on main.java at the left side. No, no, not there. At the left side. Yeah, right click. No, I'm okay. I'm not. Are you seeing a drop down? I'm not seeing a drop down. Oh, I'm not seeing it. Okay.
Yeah. So is it right clicked already? Oh yeah, I'm seeing it.